I come at 5 o'clock in the morning. We open at 6. The first thing I come in the restaurant, make the coffee, and start putting my tables outside. Before you know, you have some of the regular people come and say, well, I want my coffee. Well, the coffee's ready. People come at 6:30, 7 o'clock. They, hurrying up because then, they want to have breakfast and they want to go to work and, always is in those feelings for me. Doing all that is, I can tell you, I mean, it's hard to explain it because they come from your heart.
Therefore, I, Helene Schneider, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Santa Barbara, California, do hereby congratulate the Santa Barbara Foresters.
I want to thank all our fans for coming today. We'll see you at East Beach Grill for breakfast tomorrow.
In September 2016, the Santa Barbara City Council debated giving Francisco Aguilera the exclusive bid to renew his lease on the East Beach Grill.
Let me tell you, it's really hard. Right now, I'm fighting for the East Beach Grill. It is really hard, but I don't give up. I don't give up until I don't have no more chances.
This has decades of meaning, decades of connection, decades of relationship, and I like to think it's the Santa Barbara way to somehow, reward that when you can. So with that, Ms. Zachary, it's to you.
So the Cabrillo Pavilion, which is its official name, was constructed in 1926 and gifted to the city in 1927 by David Gray. At that time, the dedication was that the facility would be used for park purposes and public recreation. The commission itself recommended 4-1 that he be provided an opportunity to negotiate a new lease agreement for a reasonable period of time, and that if that did not prove to be successful, the city would then move forward with a competitive bid process. Staff still does recommend that the city initiate a competitive bid process to secure a restaurant concessionaire for the renovated building. And that concludes my presentation.
Having invested $10,000 in Henry Ford's Model T, Detroit candy mogul David Gray brought his millions to Santa Barbara, where he built and donated the Cabrillo Pavilion to the city. East Beach was the last uncommercialized beachfront in Southern California in 1924, and he wanted to keep it that way. His office was at the Meridian Studios. He built Deer Lodge on San Marcos Pass, Gray Home in Montecito, brought orchestras to the Potter Hotel, started the School of the Arts and the Architectural Board of Review, encouraging designs in the colonial revival style made of stucco and stone, iron and clay. The Cabrillo Pavilion and Bathhouse is a beautiful example of how a single gem, lovingly placed in the hands of a community, can remain a vibrant and living gift that continues to flourish for generations.
East Beach Grill, for me, is not just this job. It's more like kind of family for me because, see, I grew up there. My family really was born right there. I have a daughter, she's 25 years old. And I remember when I used to bring her in a little basket, put in the office there. So she was sitting there when she was like 3-4 months old. I used to come and put my orders and keep an eye on business and stuff like that. Go to the bank, pick out the deposit. This is what I'm saying. It's not just only for me as a job. It's more than a job. For my son, and he started working for me when he was kind of 11 years old. He used to come at 7 in the morning and shake the seagulls. You know the problem we have with the seagulls there? Yeah, so I give him a little bucket with ice scoops so he can throw it to shake the seagulls. And I used to pay him $5 and free meal. You get a good breakfast and $5 at the end of the day. And then one day he came to me, Daddy, you really ripped me off. I go, why? I got to be here the whole day for $5? I got to rip off here. I said, okay, well, and what are you going to do? I said, well, get me to the kitchen, wash dishes. I want to wash dishes. So I said, well, I took the challenge. Yeah, I said, fine, no problem. Next day, give him an April. Man, I saw one day he was wet, soaking wet, with all the water from the dishes. So I saw him and he came to me, oh, that is a little hard, yeah. Are you making money, buddy? Yeah, I pay you $7 an hour. He did that for maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then he came to me, hey, Daddy, how much you pay for the girls taking orders with the cashier? Well, they get 50 cents more. Okay, from tomorrow, I'm not going to wash dishes no more. I'm going to be a cashier. So I said, okay, how much do you pay for the cooks? For the guy that prepping down here? I said, well, they get not 50 cents more and not $1 more. Well, I'm going to do it. No, you can't. Why? Because you're too short. You cannot reach all the breads and toaster and everything. He finished high school. He's a good boy. He got a really good grade. He went direct from high school to the University of San Francisco. I was born in a cave, middle of nowhere, you know. My mom and father used to move the cows from one place to another to feed the cows. They call it the pasteadero. They moved from one to another. My mom, she was still riding the horse, and we used to stay in the cave. You know, and they used to cook. You know, inside the cave, you don't get no rain.
Big cave.
Yeah, it's a cave. I was born in a cave. And then I came for the big family. You know, we are 14 kids, 7 boys, 7 girls, 1 mom, and 1 dad. And the farm you needed to watch. You watch the sun. Is when you kind of get out to the farm and start doing some work. Midway right here, and then it's breakfast time. Noon, the sun is right above your head. It's the lunch time. And then until it got dark. Then you start working and you go home. Go sleep. Get ready for next day. Feed up all the cows and pigs and chickens and everything. End of the day, probably I remember. And I left home when I was 14. Later my 14. When I left home, my father said, my grandfather said, Francisco, wish you good luck. We don't give you money because we don't have no money, but enough to pay my bus from Durango to Tijuana. First I became a work permit, and then I got a temporary resident, and then I got my permanent resident, and then after that I became a U.S. citizen. When I became a U.S. citizen, the first thing I did, there was apply for my father and my mother. 9 years ago when I bought the business, my father broke my heart. Because when he came down here and he saw me all the money I'm going to pay for all this business, when you don't have no money, he came to me and he said, son, I will sell all my cows and I sell the ranch if you need it. I want to help you. I said, Daddy, I'm going to do it my own. I got to East Beach Grill in 1984, March 24, 1984. And I came to apply to get a cook position. And then my boss, he said, no, I don't have a cook position. I have this washer position. Okay, what time you need this person? It's 8 in the morning to 12 o'clock. I really like the hours because I'm supposed to start at 2 o'clock. So I have time to, get a part-time job. And then I asked him, how much are you going to pay me? And he said, I'm going to pay you $3.35 an hour. And I said, I will take the position. So I was there for 2 days. And then, I can see the way they was doing the food, and everything. And then I came online on the line of the hot food and kind of helped the cooks and the preps. And then he saw me. He said, Francisco, from tomorrow on, I don't want you to wash dishes anymore. I will pay you more than $3.35 an hour because I can see the way you work. So I got a pay raise in almost in 3 days. I did that 4 months. I cook helpers from 8 to 12. And then 5 months later, he said he wanted to come at 5 o'clock in the morning with the cook and open. I said, yes, I'm fine. I will do that. So I kind of finished at 10 o'clock at night and $12. And I had to be here with East Beach Grill at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I did that for a lot of years. I probably did that 3 or 4 years. And then one day he came to me, hey, Francisco, if you want to get ahead in this country, you must go to City College and learn how to speak English. And then I said, well, yes, but I don't have time. And then he said, well, what time you start working? And I said, well, I was, at 2 o'clock. So, well, why don't get a conversation class? Well, he signed me up in City College to get a conversation class. So I did that for a couple of years. I used to drive a moped. I don't know if you know. You can get really fast to the sky. Get out here at 12 o'clock in 5 minutes. From East Beach, Grove City College, I was in my class. Finished at 2 o'clock, and 2 o'clock I was working in Paul Bala. So I did that for 2 years. And then one day he came and said, Francisco, now I you to work for me all the time, but you have to leave Paul Bala. And you work and you go to school. And I said, but maybe later you catch up, maybe 2 years, if you do well in our company, I pay you more, and then you get a bonus. So, I said, well, I took a chance. And that was the best decision I did make in my life. One right there. Because I didn't have opportunity to go back to college and take a reading class, writing class, more conversation. Later on, after all the years, he said, Francisco, one day maybe you can buy the company. And I go, this guy is crazy. How are we going to buy this company? And he said, well, you got to be ready for it. You got to go back to school. You have to know the other side of the business, which is all accounting, how to do the prices, how to do all that. Well, guess what? I did that before I bought the company. I did a couple of years, and then I jumped to 240 accounting. And then I did it 1 year, and I failed. And then when they wanted to kick me out, I said, don't take this class no more, because they were thinking I'm wasting the time. So I'm paying my classes. And I want to learn, I want to use for my own use. Look at now, I'm doing my accounting, I'm doing all my invoices, pay everything. So and finally in 2008, he said, Francisco, John, you want to retire? And he gave me the opportunity to buy him out. Back again, no money. And he said, well, I can be your bank. And he be my bank. For 9 years now, I haven't missed a payment every month. He's been like my big brother, like second daddy, because who's going to do what he did for me? Nobody.
July and August, we had $200,000 months. So if you go from $100,000 when we started to 2 months back to back at $200,000 each, is pretty phenomenal growth. And every single year since we've been there, we've grown the business.
Well, I would like to ask you to let me think like a business with you and act as a landlord and take a look at what has taken place, the city of Santa Barbara as a landlord. We have had a tenant who has made a great facility out of something that is less than desirable. Other than the word, it's a beachfront property. Stop and think what I get when I first go there, and I go there with my wife. I get birds christening my head, okay? If we're there early enough, we get to see the homeless sleeping and them being able to be woken up.
Just as when you are packing for a trip, do not be seduced into taking the new, unproven, trendy, day-by-night shoes. When you have in your possession your tried and true walking shoes that make you happy when you wear them.
Growing up, going to East Beach every Sunday morning for breakfast is a really cool experience. All of its support is just great, and the wonderful atmosphere. I'd be bummed to see it leave.
I will tell you that I went to the East Beach Grill, as far as I can remember, in 1938 when I was 2 years old.
I was engaged. I proposed to my wife on East Beach, not at the East Beach Grill, but out in front on the waterfront. The morning after the election last November, that's where we went for breakfast. We wanted to go someplace special where we could relax and then just enjoy after not having slept for 6 months. So it was a great opportunity just to go to a local place and just feel at peace, and that's what we did.
But I made a phone call, some calls earlier, and really the industry wasn't aware that this was an open opportunity. So I think people would jump at the chance, and who knows what would come in. He financially sponsors the triathlon. He doesn't have to. He's going to have a great weekend whether we have our event down there or not. He has the long-term view that supporting the community is more important than saving the few extra dollars that he gives our event.
Francisco does that across the board. He gives to the junior lifeguards. What he does for Reef and Run has allowed us to really, really grow that event, as you heard from Jane. And I don't think it's political for those of us involved in our community and in our community nonprofits to support those who support the rest of us.
Every landlord would love to have a national tenant, one of those big names, and some of those big names didn't make it. Some of them didn't have the local knowledge. Some of them didn't have what Francisco has, which is hard to bank, but it's a whole lot of goodwill and a track record.
I'm really grateful that after 32 years of partnership, my wife didn't decide to put out an RFP to see if she couldn't do better. I like to think that she couldn't, but I know she could. I don't think you can do better than going with your partner of 32 years.
And I think there's one other factor, is that Santa Barbara was built as a Spanish city with a Spanish culture and a lot of Spanish people here. And Francisco has been a real image of what hard work and determination will do.
You all know me as a longtime servant of the city of Santa Barbara as a police officer, singing sergeant. I won't be singing a song today, but my family is one of the original settling families of the city. I'm a descendant of the original Commandante of the Presidio. My parents had their wedding reception at the pavilion, so it's very personal for me.
The Cabrillo Pavilion was originally intended as, quote, the first step to save the beachlands of Santa Barbara from tawdry exploitation. What's at stake is the whole idea of East Beach, unparalleled beauty, set aside for all of us long ago and watched over by Francisco all these years.
Where else in this town do cultures and generations and economic classes mix so easily, so happily? That family-friendly atmosphere is ingrained in the DNA of East Beach Grill. It's the DNA of Francisco's family.
So I have changed direction from where I originally stood on this, of saying we need to go with the RFP, to a place of providing this entrepreneur the shot that he has earned for all these years of steady service.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, so that is 5-1 with Maria opposed and 1 absent. So thank you very much. I appreciate all your attention.
Now the city requires me to open for dinner, because right now I go breakfast and lunch. Mm-hmm. Now the requirement on the new list open from 6 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. So there's going to be it's a big challenge right there. And then they want me to have a full liquor license. Just to comply with the liquor license, just to get the license and the bar, it's expensive. I have that probably cost $1 million. I mean, I'm working for me, but in the same way, working for all the people, create all the jobs, all the people around me. And then after that, if you make any profit, and then you pay all this money in taxes. And I mean, I'm not against to pay tax. I'm good. As long as they put all this money to work, get more roads, better schools, helping out people that really need it. I mean, I'm for that.
In your family, all those people, your great family, anybody else besides you became an entrepreneur, a businessman? Anybody do what you do?
No, not really.
I mean, think so.
See, because the thing is, when I say, one thing, you work hard and be honest and save your money. They work hard, they are honest, but they are different because they don't want to take a chance on a life. See, they don't want to, they feel, that, I don't know, it's different to explain because not many people want to take a chance. They don't want to sacrifice their own self the way I did. And they don't want to put a fight. They keep working and live check by check, and it make it really hard. I'm different. So always, there's a challenge there in front of me, and I always like to have a little challenge there, and I have to work on it. And I hope that this challenge I have now to get a new list on East Beach Grill pretty soon. I hope I can be able to work it out, and I can stay at least another 10 more years. So I'm 52. At least I can go to 62, and then I can maybe retire and do the things I always want to do.
After negotiating for a full year, the city council accepted his bid. Then Parks and Recreation doubled his rent.
It's still going to be a bathhouse. It's still going to be a magnet for the homeless. So basically, they're putting $14 million of lipstick on that old pig.
Do you know how much the rent they want me to pay after 3 years and I'm going to go back in business? $400,000 a year in rent. In rent. Guarantee.
Don't do it.
Guarantee.
Guarantee. Sign a guarantee.
Please don't do it.
And you know how much I need to sell a day just to do what kind of make a little money just to do what I'm doing now? I had to do $11,000 a day. A day on sales.
I learned how to work hard.
Yeah.
From watching him.
Exactly.
We've got a lot of options.
Yeah, okay.
Which is a nice position.
Well, you have
to
a
be
lot
in.
of options on State Street. There's everything's
Everything's
available.
closing.
There's 64 empty spots there.
No.
64. If you look back again to 1984, who was there now? Carlitos Mexican Restaurant, John Downey's, Joe's Cafe, East Beach Grill, and also is gone.
So now the city's figured out a way to mess that up.
Yep, they did.
They did it.
This is what they did.
It's done.
I mean, this is what they did. For me, is really hard, emotional because East Beach Grill, my heart is there.
Yeah.
And this is why I want to put a little fight before I kind of.
So there's still a fight. There's still a fight.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Don't know.
I don't know. You tell me you come here Sunday. Look, I mean, we're full. How is running? Everything running is more. Everybody's happy. And then what do you got to do? People come and join in.
I know. Look at this.
And I've been doing this for 22 years. I don't want to change anything.